What is going on, everyone? So in this week's video, I want to talk about something that's been bugging me for a little while. It has to do with going on the trips and the video and photos and everything along those lines. But I want to start the conversation with a comparison of two photos. So the first photo was taken in 2017, and this was taken in Zion National Park in one of the many maple groves there. And the second photo was taken on my recent trip to Zion, and it's a photo of this pine tree and some really nice reflected light. But I want you to look at these photos and try to figure out what they have in common. For me personally, it's the fact that they are moments of calm. So the weather was very calm, the conditions were calm, and I had time to set up my camera, find the composition I wanted, and I think that that hopefully comes through in the photos and just kind of given this nice sense of calm. But what they also have in common is that the moments leading up to those photos was not very calm at all. And I think that's something that is sort of induced by the process of doing video and everything else that comes with, doing the videos here on YouTube. So the first photo, for example, this was taken on a year when the fall color was a bit earlier than usual. So by the time I got to Zion, I'm watching leaves fly off the trees, and some of the scenes I hope to revisit and try to photograph, they were looking a little bit more like winter. And so I was scrambling around, just trying to find something to point my camera at. And it was a little bit stressful, just because I did have the pressure of trying to come up with the subjects and do the video and everything else. But the moment I found that particular subject, then I was able to slow down. It was really calm. And then the experience of actually shooting that photo was definitely very much was portrayed in the photo. And then the photo from my recent trip of the pine tree. This one, I actually had a hard time sleeping the night before I went to this area because trying to lug an 8x10 camera back to that area, it made me a little nervous, to be honest, because it's a pretty decent sized backpack. It's got some weight to it. There's some pretty significant scrambles involved, down some slopes, up some slopes. And I even brought a rope with me just because there's one particular area where that could very well have been needed, but I was able to kind of go without it. And the entire time that I was hiking my way towards that tree, and if you watch the video, you'll notice that there was not much video of me hiking. It's mostly because I was just trying to get to that area before the light started to get pretty, to be pretty decent. But the whole way I was hiking there, I was thinking, a written blog would just be way easier for doing this. But ultimately, I was able to find the composition for that scene. There were some foreground elements I was sort of juggling. I was able to make it all work, but ultimately I did have that experience of calm. But when you watch the video, it just kind of seems like it's pretty easy, just showing up, shooting the photo, and then boom, there you go. But there's a lot more that went into that. But I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing for the videos. So basically the main thing is that the experience shown in the video, I try to be as honest as possible, but there's no way you can be completely honest about the entire experience. And so that's something that gets to be a little bit tricky sometimes. And I've been trying to think about what it is that makes it kind of difficult out there in the field. And one of the major things is the fact that large format, it's not hard to shoot. It's not difficult to shoot, but it really just occupies your whole brain. What it comes down to is, especially as things are changing, as the light's changing, as the wind kicks up, there's a lot of things to juggle at the same time. So you really just need to concentrate as much as you can on that one task at hand. And video is kind of the same way. With video, it's a little bit more over the process of an entire day, but you have to think about what have you filmed so far. What do you still need to film? Have you kind of told the story of the day as well as you can? Is there any more clips that you need? So it's like the brain's constantly going with that. The brain's constantly going with the large format side of things. And it's, in all reality, it's probably a little bit more than I would prefer to be juggling at any one given time. But I'm able to make it work, especially if I have to make a sacrifice, it's more on the video side of things, because I can pretty much always make it work from a video side of things, but you can't cut any corners at all when it comes to the photography side. And that's a little bit what happened on the episode 2 video, where I just found some good subjects, but the light wasn't that good. So I just kind of tried to force those photos, but I knew deep down that it wasn't really going to be good light. So I think that's one of the things that can kind of happen is you try to do this stuff on video as well as for shooting. So let's talk about some of these solutions that I've come up with to hopefully make the process of going on these trips a little bit easier, where I can actually have that really calm experience in the field in the times other than when I'm just staring at the ground glass and trying to figure out a composition. And I think part of it is making it a little bit, take it a little bit off my plate when I'm in the field. So I think one experiment I want to do in 2021 is to go on at least one trip where I completely leave the video kit behind. And I think that way I'll just have the emphasis on photography. I won't have the pressure of coming up with the story for the day in addition to everything else. I think that might be kind of nice. And I already have a location in mind for that. And it's a location that's not really great for video anyways. So that's one thing I do plan on doing. Another thing too, this might come as a little bit of a surprise, but I do have a digital kit now as well. So I have a Sony a7R4 with a 2470 lens. And I brought this to Zion, and near the end of the trip when I was wiped out. I mean, I was going off in places and just burning tons of calories, and my legs were just rebelling at a certain point. I just had very, very low energy at the very end of the trip. And so I just go out in the evenings with the Sony kit, and I gotta say, man, it was, you digital shooters, you have it easy. I mean, aperture priority mode, exposure compensation, zoom lenses, autofocus, it really made it so much easier to shoot photos. And it was interesting because it would use sort of a different part of the brain because you don't have the same degree of limitations. And so yeah, it was an interesting experience. And even though that camera isn't going to make its way into the videos from Zion as far as the regular series from Zion, I'll have a dedicated video where I show some of the digital photos I shot there as well, because it was kind of fun. It was different, but it was fun. But I'd be curious if you guys have any thoughts as well, and feel free to include those down below in the comment section. This week's video on Saturday is it's kind of a cool one from Zion, so I'm looking forward to sharing that one. But I want to thank everyone for watching. I'll see you around next time.